to Faithful Grace Studio. I'm Mindy. I'm the creator here at Faithful Grace, and I am getting ready to assemble the Flourish and Faith Flip-out Folio. I know that's a mouthful, but I'm in love with the muted pinks of this series, and I love the faith component. So I'm going to go through the assembly process with you. We're going to put one together. So first thing to do is cut everything out, and I will be doing that off camera. I'm not going to make you suffer through me doing that. So I'll do that part first and get everything ready to assemble, and then I'll come back and we will put it together. All right, welcome back. We are going to start. I've got all of the folio pieces prepped and ready. So we're going to start the assembly process. This little diagram that kind of shows you where the pieces could go comes with the pack. So if you wanted to assemble it exactly this way, you could, or you can do whatever you want. This is just a suggestion. I print it comes in color. I print mine in black and white because I save my ink for the good stuff. But again, this is just a suggestion. Use it if you'd like. If you don't want to use it, make this folio however you want to make it. You could put one of these two on this side if you wanted to, or here if you wanted to. I mean, you could put this one on that side. I mean, it doesn't have to go just the way that it shows here. I encourage you to explore other opportunities and really make it your own. And maybe you don't even use all the pieces, or you make 2 folios out of it. Whatever you want to do. There are no rules. You've heard me say that before. No rules. No rules. No rules. All right. So what we have here are the pieces that needed to be scored. This is the main outer piece, and then that's the flap. These are 2 of the flip outs, and there's a flip out, and then this is just a little piece, a piece of the ephemera. It's scored in 2 different places, so it can kind of help you fold it. I folded mine with the prettiness on the outside, thinking that this would be a nice place to write something. This is the Flourish and Faith Flip-out Folio. My thought, for me at least, was that I would assemble this and use it as a companion to the Flourish and Faith daily prayer and scripture journal, so that if I was going somewhere and I needed a smaller piece to carry with me instead of carrying my full journal, I would carry this piece with me. I don't know if that's the way it's going to work out or not, but that was my thought. So this is a piece that goes inside. We are going to, but wait, before I do all this, let me put my nonstick parchment paper down. You may have heard me say this before. This is wrinkly and loud, sorry. But I always put a piece down on my surface, even though I have this silicone pad out, or mat out here. I just put this down because I don't want to glue anything to that silicone, and it just makes cleanup easier, and it makes sure that my project doesn't stick to something I don't want it to stick to. All right, so here we go again. Here's the flip outs. Here's the core pieces, outer pieces of the folio. Here's something that goes inside. Here are the fussy cuts. Just a handful of fussy cuts come with this kit, and then a couple, I'll stick those right in there, then a couple of page tabs, this type of page tabs, and then 2 of these page tabs, so we can put tabs wherever we want. These are the inside pieces, the inside pockets and the inside liners. Some of this kit does print double-sided. This Some of it doesn't. You can see some of these pieces are single-sided. These are all double-sided because you could potentially see both of them. These are both double-sided. And then the cards that go inside, all this goes inside. The cards that go inside, they're all double-sided as well. So you can change up. You don't have to use the back, the print on the back. You can change that up any way you want to. I think there's 4 pieces of full sheet pages that you can use for the back. So you pick what you want on the back or whatever. Here's a piece of ephemera. And then these, I wanted to point this out to you. Let me move my tray out of the way. These are all scraps that I had left over from where I cut things out of the 2-sided pages. The pages that you use on the back side are full sheets, but the pieces that are on the front side don't take up the whole sheet. So there's gaps and strips in between them and around them that gives you this yumminess right here. So don't throw these away. There's 1,000 things you could do with these. I keep these. Some of you have seen my shabby houses. Some of these might end up in a shabby house at some point. They may end up in a mixed media. I may use them in this to create some sort of closure. You just never know what these could be used for. So definitely keep those. Don't let those end up in the trash. All right, so let's get out our glue. I'm going to get out another piece of parchment. Actually going to fold it. Well, that might be all we need for right now. Let's get this going. So this goes here. In the past, I have put it on the outside, and I printed it so that it would kind of match. So do I want to put it on the outside or do I want to put it on the inside? Put it on the inside, you got this. But most of the inside is going to be covered up. I actually think I want to put it on the outside. I'm going to put it on the outside. So I'm just going to run a small bead and just lay this right up to that score line. I'm going to have to trim this piece off. I didn't get it cut quite right, but I know y'all are shocked. Okay. Can't get that quite up, but that's close enough. All right, let me trim that off. Okay, so there's our outer piece. Now I think the best thing to do is put our flip outs on there wherever we want them. I'm going to do it based on the diagram and based on the way I do most of them. Next time I may try doing it a little differently. Because this is going to be on the front, I don't want to put that on the outside. I don't want that to be on the front cover of my folio. So I am going to put this one on the inside. So I'm going to put the glue on the back and then line that up. It's not going to, I'm just going to kind of put it in the center. All right, let that dry for a minute. And the same with these. I don't want that on the outside since I put that one on the outside. No, I don't want these on the outside. I'm putting these on the inside. You can decide. I printed these with slightly different patterns on each one. So you can decide which pattern you want on the outside and which pattern you want on the inside. I'm going to kind of make the inside of these three match a little bit, and then this coordinates better with the outside, in my opinion, but that's just me. And again, there are 0 rules. Now, I do want us to make sure these kind of line up. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. All right, I'm just going to rub those seams just a little bit more. All right. Got our cards, our internal stuff out of the way for right now. And let's start with this piece. Now, this is one-sided, so this piece is just the inside of the flap. And you guys know me, you know that I love a pocket. So I'm not going to glue the whole thing down. You can if you want, but I'm only going to glue around the edge, because I want it to form a pocket. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to do the pockets that go on the inside of the 2 small flip outs. I think I want this. That's going to be tight. I don't think I cut that quite right. I'm going to have to cut that off a little bit. Let's see. Yep, both of them, I think. All right, so I'm just going to trim off the edge of these 2 just to make them a little more accurate. I clearly didn't cut them very well, because you should be able to put them on there, not have them stick off the edge, and still have it fold up easily. So that's better. But I want these to be pockets, and because I want them to be pockets, I'm going to put a notch in them. Now, I do have this little circle cutter that I'm going to use, but you don't have to have one of these. You can just take your scissors and cut out you can cut out a shallow notch, kind of wide across there. You can cut out a circle notch. You could cut out a square. However you wanted to do it. It does not have to be fancy, and you definitely don't need. Somebody gifted me this years ago, and I've used it to death. And I just realized as I'm putting this glue on, I printed this page 2-sided, and it didn't need to be, because the other side of it I just covered up. The only advantage to that was it did give me 2 choices as far as which side to put up, but I don't care about that. I should have not printed that 2-sided. It's a waste of ink. Now, I didn't ink the edges of this because I don't think I want to ink the edges of my journal when I make the journal. And I wanted it to kind of match. Is that going to be, yeah, that's going to be okay. However, now that I have all this pink on pink, I kind of wish I had edged the ink, edged that a little bit, inked it a little bit. I think you would be able to see that it's a pocket a little bit better, but that's okay. It's all right. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to stress over it. All right, let's put this on here. And I don't want a long pocket. I'm not a huge fan of real long, real deep pockets like that, because I'm bad about putting something small in there and it gets way down here and then I can't get it out. So I'm going to let the side be the pocket. Actually, this side is going to be the pocket. So I'm going to put a little notch on this side. Not a very deep notch, just a little notch, and it is not in the center, and I'm okay with that. Okay. All right. You can see it's starting to come together. It's starting to have a little weight to it. It's exciting. Okay, we have one of these that can go somewhere. Actually, let's do this one first. This can go here. There's really no rhyme or reason to the order that I'm going in. You can go in whatever order you feel comfortable with. This goes here. Beautiful. Actually, let me make sure I get it not in that groove. Where that's scored right there. See where it's scored, I need to make sure that this stays between the scores so that piece still folds nicely. And one of the things that is probably the most satisfying for me with all of this, long term, not the immediate satisfying thing, but the long term satisfying thing, is that I have learned how to glue without squishing glue everywhere. When I first started doing this, I don't even want to say how long ago it was, things like this, not necessarily this, but things like this, I would put so much glue around the edges. When I would put it down and smooth it, it would get everywhere, and it would be squished and all out, and it would take forever to dry, and nobody had ever shown me or taught me how to do that differently, and I didn't know anything about these little needle nose applicators or anything like that. So it was really just kind of a hit or miss thing with me, and it's so rewarding now to be able to do what I just did, glue these things down and not have, I mean, I got a little tiny bit of glue on my hands, but nothing major, and I'm not wasting glue. Glue lasts a lot longer. It's just, I don't know, it's just rewarding. All right, I'm going to put this here, but I don't want the square corners on the bottom. And so one of the things, I'm going to round them off. And so when you get this kit, if you decide to get your own kit, whether you get it as a standalone kit or as a as part of the combo pack with the prayer journal and all the ephemera and the folio, yours will be rounded. That's one of the reasons that I do this. When I create something new or different, a new or different pattern or process or a new folio, one of the things I make sure I do is put it together at least once, sometimes twice, before I put the product, list the product in my shop. So you may be seeing this video before this is available. And that's because I am making sure that everything goes together the way it should. I sense that I possibly have written on the page that had these pockets on these inside flip out pockets. I have a sense that I may have written on those pages to print them two-sided, and they don't need to be, so I need to fix that. I'm going to fix these corners on this little pocket. I'm going to round them, so no matter where you decide to put it, it'll have nice pretty rounded corners. I may possibly round the corners on that one. This one though is going to go, I'm going to put this one here, and it does have rounded corners. Oh, look what I did. Okay, so maybe that's not where I'm going to put that. I put that notch right there. I kind of got it in the way of this. So I can either shorten this, cut it off, I think I will, but I think I want it on this end. So let's see. That's where it needs to be cut off. All right, so what the other thing that you will see when you when I put this live out there as a listing, you will see this notch already in that piece, and these pieces as well. And this may be different. I'm going to think about it. Yeah, that's where I want that. Although that notch could have been a lot smaller. So that may be a little different when you see it, the actual product. Just got through bragging about how I had learned how not to get glue everywhere, and I can assure you glue's squishing out of this one. Nice, not too much. Yeah, I see a glob of glue right there. All right, so now I have another little piece of stuff, scrap that might be useful for something. Okay, so this is the core. This is the fundamental folio with all the pockets. So then, I just slung fussy cut stuff all over the place. So I think this is the piece that goes here. It is, but well, maybe not. I think I told y'all I think that goes there. I like that better. This is a different type of cardstock than I normally use. I normally use 120 pound, but they had 60 pound on sale, and I was like, yeah, does it really matter? Well, it turns out it does. This is more along the lines of what I believe really good presentation paper or high quality copy paper is like. Maybe a little thicker than a high quality copy paper. And it does fine for most things. and as a test, it's perfect for this. But if I were making this to be really a portfolio or a folio that I'm going to use on a daily basis, I would want it out of the higher quality stuff. Just because it's a little thicker. I think this one is going to go right here. This one, I think, is going to go right here. But I want a tab on this one. So let's see. Do we want to put... Where are my tabs? Here are my tabs. 2 of those flat, and let's do one of these. Oh, look, that turned out nice. Okay, so then we have this little card. I may want some way to fasten it. I'm gonna hold it together. So we're gonna use a little strip of this. Just cut a little strip, glued it on each end right there. And now I'm going to put this, I'm going to trim it because I got white stuff everywhere, white edges. As proud as I am about I'm proud of myself as I am about the glue thing I mentioned, I'm not proud of myself at all about how horrible I am at cutting. Alright, so I'm going to just let that dry right there for a second, and then it'll stay closed by sliding it into that, I think. We'll try it out in a minute. Alright, so now we have our fussy cuts. We have a couple of these. Are there any places we want to put these? We've got 2 pockets here, a pocket here. So I want to put some of the fussy cuts in here. Look. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to glue that right there. I love it. Alright, we'll let that dry. We have a cross that we're going to stick. Well, I don't want anything I don't want to stick anything back there that's going to stick out, because that pocket is going to fold up and I don't want it to do that. We're going to stick that right there. We're going to put, I just keep seeing things that are cute with this kit. Look. This can go right there. I do think I'm going to put this, I'm not going to put these on anything yet. Look, that's cute. That worked out cute. So this is just going to slide right behind there. And maybe it needs one of these too. So I still have these two little ones. Let's try them. Not quite, but what I can do, let's do this. Look. And I'm going to put this. This is why I tell you over and over and over again, there are no rules. You sure use pictures and suggestions to come up with your own ideas, but let it be yours. Make it the way you want it to be made. I will never make this again this exact same way. One, I'm going to change the pack to accommodate some of the mistakes we've made. Now that's got a little, it's going to have to go in there a little further though. There we go. So now there's a little card in there. So the only there's three pockets that are empty. This pocket, this back pocket, and this pocket. So whoever gets this or ends up with it, I still have one of these little tabs left. But whoever gets this folio or uses this folio, not necessarily this particular one, but then they can put their own things in there. So now comes the real test. Is it going to close the way we think it's going to? That folded down nicely. That folded down nicely. That folded down nicely. Nice. Nice. Now the only thing that I wish was different, and I'm going to have to fix it on the final one, is I wish that was down just a little bit and tiny. If it were down just a little bit, it wouldn't have to be smaller, because I was going to say a tiny bit smaller, but if it were down just a little bit, it wouldn't have to be. I don't like how that kind of meets that. I don't care about that, the swish being covered up. I care about that little heart being covered up and that little edge right there. So I'll move that down a little bit. But overall, I like the way that it it looks. I love the way the inside turned out. This is precious in my opinion. So now this can come right out. But when it's in there, I'm just loving that. Loving it. So I still have these scraps that I have, that I told you about in the beginning. And then I have this one little tab. Haven't put a closure on it. I'm probably not going to put a closure on this one since it's kind of the prototype. But you could do a number of things. You could put a little magnet there. We could have put a magnet behind all of this. And so it would have been, you know, we could have lined it up with this. The thing with the magnets, and I don't have a whole lot of good luck with magnets, to be honest with you. For some reason, I always end up with magnets that are not strong enough to hold to another magnet through paper. Velcro, maybe a snap of some sort. I really like using Velcro. See if I got a little piece that we can put on there. I don't see one anywhere close, but that may be what I do with it. With the one that I actually make after I fix some of the things with this one. Everything else I think looks great, lined up well. I'm very pleased with it. So a few minor adjustments, and within a couple of days this one will be available in the Etsy shop as well. And when it's available, I'll link to it below, along with the prayer journal that's going to be part of the mega packet. There's this piece, there's the daily prayer and scripture journal that has a place for your faith goals. It has Bible study prompts and tracking. It has prayer prompts, prayer journaling, prayer list for yourself, your family and friends, and your community. It has plenty of places for notes. It has some very uplifting affirmations and scriptures. It's just a really, it's a big journal. I think there's 30 pages that come with the journal itself, the journal kit itself, and a gorgeous cover. The cover can either be folded and traditionally cut and fabric bound, or it also comes with a nice chunky spine that you could use if you chose to. So look forward to that. Look forward to this coming out. If you want to make sure you don't miss this when it becomes available, hop over to the Faithful Grace Art Shop on Etsy and favorite it. When you favorite it, you will get notifications when we drop something new. So hope you enjoyed watching this process, and I hope you enjoy making your own.